Hey there, amazing architecture wizards. Welcome back to the Daily AI Wizard, your daily spellbook for mastering the future of software architecture.
Today on day 48, we're focusing on something that makes or breaks every successful project: how teams actually design architecture together. We're going deep into the art and science of collaborative architecture design in teams. We'll explore why shared ownership is the real superpower of high-performing teams, how to run effective architecture workshops, use architecture decision records, ADRs, define clear but flexible roles, avoid dangerous anti-patterns like architecture by committee or hero-driven design, and build a healthy culture where great architecture decisions emerge naturally from the team. This lesson is practical, actionable, and based on what actually works in top engineering organizations.
Collaborative architecture isn't just a trendy buzzword. It's a fundamental shift in how we build complex systems. When architecture decisions are made in isolation by a single architect or a small elite group, we create dangerous knowledge silos, increase the buzz factor, and often end up with designs that look perfect on paper but fail in reality. In this opening slide, we examine the massive hidden costs of siloed architecture and the tremendous benefits of true shared ownership: dramatically higher team velocity, better knowledge distribution across the team, fewer expensive rewrites, stronger buy-in from developers, and systems that actually reflect real implementation challenges and business needs. We'll look at real-world case studies where collaborative design led to outstanding success and where lack of collaboration caused major project failures. A shared vision is the foundation of great collaborative architecture. In this section, we cover practical techniques for creating and maintaining alignment, how to run powerful vision workshops, use the C4 model and other visual communication languages to make complex ideas accessible to everyone, and keep the entire team aligned as requirements, technology, and team structure evolve over time. You'll learn how to turn abstract architectural goals into concrete, understandable mental models that every team member can work toward. ADRs are one of the most valuable tools in collaborative architecture. We go through the complete life cycle: when to write them, the ideal template, how to review and approve them as a team, how to keep the repository alive and useful, and how to retire outdated decisions gracefully. You'll receive a ready-to-use ADR template and best practices that thousands of teams have successfully adopted. We explore different types of architecture workshops: discovery workshops, decision workshops, and review sessions, along with proven facilitation techniques, how to handle healthy disagreement, how to reach decisions without endless debates, and how to ensure strong follow-up and action tracking. This is where collaboration actually happens in practice. Clear roles prevent chaos, but overly rigid roles kill collaboration. We discuss the balance between architecture owner, architecture champion, and everyone contributes models. You'll learn how to scale architecture ownership as teams grow and how to avoid hero culture and bottlenecks.
Effective communication is the glue that holds collaborative architecture together. In this slide, we explore modern, lightweight communication patterns that actually scale. We compare different approaches: request for comments, RFC, lightweight architecture review boards, and fully async decision-making, and show you when to use each one. You'll learn how to strike the perfect balance between documentation and live conversation, which tools work best for different team sizes and cultures, and how to keep non-technical stakeholders informed without creating bottlenecks. The goal is to make architecture decisions visible, traceable, and inclusive while maintaining high development velocity. Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. Here we dissect the most dangerous anti-patterns I've seen across many teams: architecture by committee that leads to paralysis, hero-driven design that creates massive buzz factor risk, endless technical debates that never reach decisions, and the silent killer, lack of documentation that turns architecture knowledge into tribal knowledge. For each anti-pattern, I share real stories from the industry, the warning signs, and concrete strategies to avoid falling into these traps. Today, we have an incredible ecosystem of tools that make collaborative architecture much easier. We evaluate the best diagramming tools, how to version control architecture documents effectively, architecture as code initiatives, and how to integrate everything smoothly into your existing development and CI/CD workflows. You'll leave this slide with a practical toolkit you can start using next week. Technical excellence and psychological safety are deeply connected. In this important slide, we discuss why psychological safety is essential for high-quality architecture decisions, how to create an environment where junior and senior engineers alike feel comfortable challenging ideas, and practical techniques for turning strong opinions and disagreements into better outcomes. As organizations grow, collaboration becomes even more complex. We explore how to maintain effective collaborative architecture across multiple teams, the role of architecture guilds and communities of practice, and how to balance team autonomy with necessary enterprise-wide standards and consistency.
How do you know if your collaborative architecture practices are actually working? In this slide, we define meaningful metrics and success indicators that go beyond just velocity, including team satisfaction, knowledge distribution, architectural quality, and long-term system maintainability. Knowledge sharing doesn't happen by accident. It must be intentionally designed into the team's rhythm. In this slide, we explore the most effective knowledge sharing rituals that successful engineering teams use to keep architectural knowledge alive and continuously growing across the entire organization. We start with architecture decision huddles and show and tell sessions, short, high-signal meetings where team members present recent decisions, trade-offs, and lessons learned. Then we dive into pair architecture and mob architecture sessions where multiple people work together on complex design problems in real time. We also talk about turning documentation into a true team sport. Not something only the architect does, but a collective responsibility. Finally, we discuss how to build a genuine continuous learning culture through architecture book clubs, lunch and learn sessions, and communities of practice. These rituals are what separate teams that have great individual contributors from teams that have collective architectural intelligence. Architecture is never a finished product. It's a living, evolving organism. In this crucial slide, we focus on how great teams continuously evolve their architecture together instead of treating it as a one-time upfront activity. We cover practical strategies for handling legacy systems and modernization efforts without disrupting ongoing delivery. You'll learn graceful deprecation patterns for old architectural decisions, how to retire outdated components safely, and how to establish continuous architecture improvement loops that become part of the team's natural rhythm. We also discuss techniques for evolving architecture incrementally while maintaining stability, how to run architecture retrospectives, and how to make sure the system improves over time rather than gradually degrading. This is where mature, high-performing teams really shine. Conflict is not only inevitable in collaborative architecture, it's actually necessary for making great decisions. The key is learning how to turn healthy disagreement into better outcomes. In this slide, we differentiate between healthy and unhealthy conflict and explore proven decision-making frameworks such as RAPID, RACI, and DAISY. We discuss when to aim for consensus versus when to use consultative or authoritative decision-making. You'll also learn practical escalation paths that don't create bottlenecks, techniques for facilitating difficult conversations, and how to build a culture that respects deep expertise while still encouraging broad participation. This is one of the most valuable skills any architect or tech lead can develop. In today's world, most teams are distributed or hybrid, which brings unique challenges to collaborative architecture. In this slide, we address those challenges head on and share specific techniques that make collaborative design work effectively across time zones and locations. We cover async first architecture processes, the best tools and practices for remote workshops, how to maintain psychological safety and team culture when people aren't in the same room, and how to keep architectural knowledge flowing even when team members rarely see each other face to face. These practices have become essential for modern engineering organizations.
Many teams struggle to integrate architecture work into fast-moving, agile, and product-led environments. This slide shows exactly how to do it successfully. We explore the balance between just-in-time and upfront architecture, how to embed architecture discussions into existing agile ceremonies without slowing down delivery, lightweight architecture practices that work well in product teams, and how to maintain technical excellence while delivering continuous business value. You'll learn practical patterns that allow architecture to evolve naturally alongside product development rather than fighting against it. As companies grow from startup to enterprise scale, collaborative architecture practices must evolve too. In this slide, we discuss how to scale these practices effectively without falling back into centralized control or bureaucracy. We explore the creation of architecture chapters, guilds, and communities of practice, different governance models that scale, how to maintain consistency across many teams while preserving team autonomy, and the delicate balance between standardization and innovation. This is essential knowledge for anyone working in growing organizations. Finally, I give you a practical, ready-to-use roadmap you can start implementing with your team immediately. We break it down into 30-day quick wins you can achieve right away, a 90-day transformation plan, common starting points depending on your current team maturity, and how to measure progress and celebrate successes along the way. This isn't theoretical advice. It's a concrete action plan you can adapt to your specific context and begin using tomorrow morning.
Today, we took a comprehensive deep dive into the best practices for collaborative architecture design in teams. We covered why shared ownership matters, how to build a common vision, the power of ADRs, effective workshops, clear roles, communication patterns, common anti-patterns to avoid, tools and techniques, and how to foster psychological safety so every voice can contribute to better architecture decisions.
We gave you practical, ready-to-use techniques you can start applying with your team immediately.
That wraps up our deep exploration of collaborative architecture design. I hope you're as excited as we are to bring these practices into your teams. On day 49, we'll talk about career tips for aspiring software architects. Don't forget your homework. Run one collaborative workshop or write your first ADR with your team this week.
That's day 48 complete. We just explored the best practices for collaborative architecture design in teams. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe for daily lessons and support the channel on Buy Me a Coffee. Every contribution helps us keep creating these high-quality, in-depth videos. See you next one for day 49, Wizards.